Anytime you see this cat, Michael Fabiano here, you know that means that the fantasy season, it's right around the corner.
Here.
Now, there's those players to zero in on as your draft rolls around. There's also those guys that you may just want to steer clear of. So it is time for Michael Fabiano's Fantasy Bewares. We're going 5 through 1, of course, descending order, and you're going to start at number 5, huh?
With a guy whose birthday was yesterday, and oh, by the way, he just signed a big 2-year extension. Tom Brady. Okay, he's the greatest quarterback of all time, but he is a declining player from a fantasy perspective. 3 straight seasons, his fantasy points per game have declined. And remember the Rob Gronkowski effect. He's averaged fewer passing yards, fewer touchdown passes, and averaged 3 fewer fantasy points without Rob Gronkowski since Gronk entered the league. At number 4, man, Cole.
Number 5 was hogwash. So
Drew Brees, another declining player, okay? His pass attempts and passing yards have declined in 3 straight seasons. The Saints have not thrown the ball as much over the last 4 years. Last year, Brees had his fewest passing yards since 2005, his fewest pass attempts since 2004, and that was when he was with the San Diego Chargers. And if you look at his numbers on the road, especially outdoors, get O'Hara in here. The numbers speak for themselves. There are better young quarterbacks than Drew Brees right now.
Hold on,
I'm sorry.
I got to speak up for Who Dat Nation right now.
Don't give me that
you
stink
are
eye.
looking sweet right now in that sport coat, and I can't believe you're doing that outfit a disservice by saying Drew Brees, buyer beware. That's like saying don't buy stock in Apple. Don't buy stock at Google. Are you kidding me? Drew Brees, yes, last year he threw for 104,000 yards.
You want to get ahead of the curve, my friend. And
Michael
that's why
Thomas,
I'm saying Drew
they still
Brees.
can't guard him.
No
they added Jared
quarterback
Cook at tight end and no Mark Ingram. You don't think Drew Brees is going to throw for over 4,000 yards?
Hey,
he might throw for 5,000 yards again. He's done it 4 times in the last 7 years.
When he's not a top 10 fantasy quarterback, you and I will talk after
I
the
would
season.
love to talk about Drew Brees until the end of this show because he's thrown for 5,000 yards 5 times. Nobody's done it more than once, but we must progress. Number 3, you're getting off the quarterbacks, right?
Yes. Okay. Eric Ebron last year, 14 total touchdowns, was the 3rd most by a tight end in NFL history.
Wow.
But almost 40% of his fantasy points were touchdowns. And Jack Doyle is going to be back this season. And last year, when Doyle was healthy, Ebron was targeted half as often by Andrew Luck. Hopefully O'Hara's okay with that one. At number 2, Sammy Watkins. You know, people say you want shares of the Chiefs offense, and that's true. Yeah. But Watkins is not a guy you can trust. In fact, he's been very, very injury prone. He's averaged only 11 games, 35 catches over the last 3 years. They don't have to worry about Tyreek Hill being suspended. He's going to play the entire season, and they added Mecole Hardman during the NFL draft. And at number 1, Sony Michel.
Ouch.
Now, he was good if you had him on your fantasy team last season, but he's got the knee issues, okay? Started season on PUP, and they also added Damian Harris in the NFL draft. And keep in mind, he's a one-dimensional player. This is a guy who had just 11 targets last season. Rex Burkhead is also in the mix, so is James White. So Sony Michel is someone you may want to avoid him in your fantasy football draft, just like Drew Brees. Sean. Cole.
Sony Michel, he was a beast last year, Sean, during the postseason, but postseason numbers, they don't count during fantasy.
That's
and Drew
true.
Brees.
I'm buying Drew Brees.
Yeah, he's number 4
You can have
on
him,
fans.
and I'll be riding Kyler Murray to a championship, my friend.